Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hey everybody, I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I'm Mitch English. And this, my friends, is Daily Flash. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk. We're so glad to have you here.
Yes.
Man, this year's just flying by, isn't it?
I know, and the time change this weekend.
We got all kinds of stuff happening. Of course, we love hearing from you. Sweet baby James, he's always handling our social media. He's in the Flash back room. What's up there, James? Look at you, Bubba.
Hey, big guy. So, I'm trying to get you straight on the question of the day, right? So, if you could reboot any classic TV show or movie with today's stars, what would you choose and who would you cast? Now, Matt, tell them where they can go and leave a comment.
They can go to dailyflashshow.com. They can send us a note, flash@dailyflashshow.com. Let us know what you think about that, and hopefully it's not a Knight Rider reboot because they've tried that a few times.
Oh, it did not work.
Nope. And you can like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff on there, and you can comment on why James looks like a middle school principal.
I was just going to say whatever James is selling, I'm buying.
Yeah,
I think it looks great. You look great, James. Fix that collar.
Yeah, fix the collar. I just let you know about that. All right, we're ready to rock and
Yes,
roll.
we are.
Here we go. And here's the thing. When the times change, when is the fall weather, there's just a different feeling.
Different
about
vibe, right?
Different vibe altogether.
Are
right?
you pro time change or anti time
I
change?
think we need to get rid of it.
I'm
I think
with
it's
you.
Yes.
antiquated.
Yeah.
Right?
Agreed. It's so
Yeah.
dumb. It was for farmers back in the 1920s.
And,
Come on.
And they talk about more car wrecks. They talk about people have heart attacks
Yep.
more
Yep.
because of all of this. And it's like just 1 hour. It's just getting used to
I
it.
know. And it's crazy because not every state, like Arizona, doesn't do the time change.
Right.
What is happening with my voice?
I don't know.
here?
It's
I don't
only
know.
when you have to start talking. Isn't that
Exactly.
weird?
It's very strange. Somebody's trying to tell me something. So that's also confusing because if you're ever trying to plan something and you've got to go to one of these states that doesn't do the time change, you got to do time math, and I hate it.
Well, it's for my radio show. So I'm based in Orlando. They're in
yes.
St. Louis. Just for that, like they'll say, all right, well, let's have a conference call at 3:00. And so I'm thinking I put it in there, but they mean 3:00 their time. So it's a big deal. But places like Arizona, Indiana is also another
Is it?
state.
Okay.
Parts
I
of
knew
it.
there were a few. Oh, parts.
That's what's even weirder. Is like it's just parts of Indiana are that way. And I say get rid of it.
I do
I think
too.
you're going to find more and more. It's novel the first day. Oh, look, it's getting darker.
Yeah.
And I'm done with it. And I don't want. And there's so much. I think that was actually a big thing that President Trump wanted to do is to abolish it altogether. And I think it's time.
Yeah,
don't you?
I do too. Senator Rick Scott, who's from Florida, also a big proponent of getting rid of the time change. He's always talked about that. They always talk about it, but it's like, well, can you get something done? I think if anybody could do it, Trump can probably get it done because he's like, we're done, let's do it, we're on to the next thing.
Let's get it out of the way. He did that with the straws, if you remember.
Yeah.
He's like, it was like one of the first things he says.
And
"We're gonna
that
get rid of the straws."
I will appreciate.
Yeah.
I will appreciate
And
that.
the water pressure, water pressure,
That, Jay.
and no more auto on-off in the car.
That is,
Praise.
we're talking about the car, where you go to a stop sign, your car has it, and then, but there's a button that, like, well, I don't want it to do that anymore. Turn it off. And every time I rent a car, I run into that. I know your vehicle does that, right?
Here's what you should do. If I want it on, I should be able to hit a button.
Amen.
I don't want it to be automatically
And
on.
with this day and age with computers and how you can
Yeah.
program your car, it seems like you should be able to
So
do
I
this.
had a rental car, and it was the first time I had one of those where it auto-corrects while
Yeah.
you're driving. It freaked me out, and I was like, turn this off. I do not want this.
I like
If I'm drifting into somebody else's lane, let me have it.
I like that thing.
Matt's like, it's on purpose.
Yes.
Can I jump back to the time thing too, because I think this is very. You either are cool, you want it, or you don't want it,
Yeah.
and we want to hear from you. Give us the reason why you'd want to keep it, okay?
Yes.
Because I don't know that many people that are saying,
No.
let's keep this thing.
And you do not get an extra hour of daylight. It never changes. It's the same amount of daylight and the
Get
same
nothing
amount
in
of
time.
nighttime, 24/7.
My dad always hated it because he ran a bar for 30 years, and whenever they would do the time change, he had to stay there an extra hour because everybody's like, hey, we got another hour to drink.
Yeah,
So
I know.
what I want to know is, okay, over in, let's say in Europe or whatever, they, that time change has got to affect them. They're like, all right, what
Yeah.
time is it over there?
Yep.
Because they do that time change deal and they don't figure it out. Every 14 degrees on a map is a time zone. So look at that if you want to see how that changes. Now, when I was in Alabama, we were right on the time zone. And it was one of those where you followed one or the other.
Yeah.
It was that close. So it was like Alabama, Georgia, and you either followed. We stayed Central all the
Yeah.
time, but we would have
You'd have
listeners
the option,
and
yeah.
that sort of thing that would be on a different time zone. And it just confuses things. And it seems like the one thing that we should be able to keep is time.
Yeah.
Because as everybody says, you can't make any more of it. So why don't we just keep it the same all the time?
I agree
All
with you
the time.
all the time. So let us know what you think.
Absolutely.
This next story still continues to make headlines. Sounds like a script from a movie, rigging high-stakes poker games, insider sports betting. Recent arrests of more than 30 people across 11 states involved former and current NBA players and Italian mob families. Here's FBI Director Kash Patel.
This is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Casa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese crime families.
In its simplest form, there are two separate cases here. Operation Nothing But Bet involved insider sports betting with insider info on players to place prop bets with some players cooperating with one another. The other, Operation Royal Flush, involved high-level fixed poker games with mob connections with face cards to lure fish lured to play along well-known pro athletes. So the face cards were Coach Chauncey Billups, as you see right there at one of the poker tables. Both schemes involve tens of millions of dollars in fraud.
Millions.
3 of the accused are tied to both cases. Current Portland Trail Blazers coach Chauncey Billups, former player Damon Jones, and scary Terry Rozier, current player for the Miami Heat, all been arrested and accused in either one or both cases. Now, this is some of the technology that was used to rig the poker games. This is fascinating. They had fixed card shuffling machines, they had x-ray tables, they had cameras hidden in chip trays, cocktail trays, and they also had special contact lenses and glasses that could secretly read the marked cards. This stuff is absolutely insane. We should have video of the cards coming up here in just a second. But when you look at this stuff, here we go. So when you look at these cards, you can see they're all numbered on the outside. And we're not talking, a couple $100,000 here or there. We're talking tens of millions of dollars. Yeah.
Okay, and so you go, all right, what's the big deal? Who cares? Right? I mean, it's gambling. They went and did this sort of thing. Okay, and here's some people that obviously had millions of dollars to lose. What I thought, did you see that big number 4, by the way? It just popped up. This gives more power to the mob. That's the reason why this needs to stop. It's made tens of millions of dollars for the mob, which makes them even stronger. Now, even for that is these families, the mob families, we're all working together.
Yes.
And that's what's kind of scary about all this is that if you see this like in the movies.
Yeah.
This what we're seeing. But the mob families. Remember when the mob was like you didn't talk about the mob?
Yeah, but who knew the mob was even
That's
still
what I say.
relevant? Like I didn't even know these families still existed. I thought that we kind of did away with them.
Matt, do they still exist?
They
the mob
do.
families?
I know a guy. But
Here's the thing. Matt does know a guy.
I know a guy.
knows
So
a guy.
this whole thing is wild, considering the fact that the main one in it is Chauncey Billups,
Yeah.
who's one of the most respected
Yes.
players. He's a Hall of Famer, a champion, and everybody's he's a he's a good guy. All this. He's the one that was named in it. I was like, are you kidding me? Because Rozier was already implicated in something a few months ago, and he got cleared. But the fact that Chauncey Billups is in on this?
But let me ask you, Maddie. So if they didn't bet on basketball, that's what everybody thinks. Oh, when you hear this betting thing going on,
No,
they
it
bet
was
on
Terry-
basketball? Is basketball involved in it?
Yes. Terry Rozier actually did throw, according to the reports, a couple of games.
And Damon Jones.
And faked an injury in order to win a couple $100,000. This is a guy who makes $26 million. And Damon Jones,
who's really close friends with LeBron
Right,
James,
James.
got insider info in a Lakers game where he wasn't going to play against Milwaukee. So then he ended up, being able to say, hey, the Lakers ain't going to win because LeBron's not playing.
Yeah. James wants to chime in.
Matt, James, real quick.
Yeah, real quick. You looking at this first? FBI, great job on the names of this thing.
That's what I was going to
Right.
say.
I want to be that guy out of the FBI.
I know, right?
I just want a cool jacket and make up the names.
And the second thing is, I want to see how far this goes because this is definitely the rabbit hole, right? So it's going to go, a lot more people are going to come forward. And who is being protected, guys? Because it's probably a couple more big names that are being protected. Who are in on this too.
All right. We want to hear your thoughts. Drop us an email, flash@dailyflashshow.com. We got preview review coming up. A little Frankenstein for this Halloween magic.
Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein's fantastic.
Nice.
Also, we have a Jeremy Renner health update, and streaming for the weekend is coming up. Let us know, does this affect your sports betting? Do you buy into these games anymore? Do you believe what you're seeing? We're back right after this.
This is Tim. Tim is all about time, and if you've ever had a chance to look into Tim's cold, dead eyes, you'll see that it's time for you to follow us on social media. Sure, there's 10,000 social sites out there, and we don't have the time to name them all. Seriously, just ask Tim. So take the time to look for Daily Flash TV on your favorite social sites and start following us. That's all the time, Tim. Goodbye.
All righty. It is my favorite time of the day. It's time to get social.
I love this. Here with what's hot on the web in our social channels is Sweet Baby James. Hey, James.
Hey, guys. You know what? Every week we post a question of the day every day, and I'm excited to say our fans have lived up to the moment and posted some amazing comments.
All right.
Okay.
You guys won't be disappointed. Just take a look. All right. So when we asked if you could see any artist or band, past or present, live in concert, who would it be? Maria Orlando said Steve Perry. David Madeira says Jimi Hendrix. Michelle Schwartz Abney said Leonard Skinner. I thought it was pretty dope.
Yeah, those were
all
all
right.
good
The
options.
next question of the day we had was, what's a movie or TV show you think everyone pretends to love, but you just don't get the hype? Melinda McCormick said Big Bang Theory.
Ooh.
I'm a little upset about that one, but Big Bang Theory is a great show. It definitely lived up to the hype.
Okay.
All right, lastly, and this was Andrea's question, would you let a company sponsor your wedding? And Deborah Alexander Martin said, depending on which company, we have morals and priorities that dictate our decisions. And it is interesting to see how different companies approach various issues, like whether to accept sponsorships for personal events. It's a complex discussion that involves many factors. All money is not good money. Guys, what you think? I would have said a yes or no with that one, but she wrote a dissertation, so it is what it is.
She gave an explanation as to why, because that
Right.
generally, there's no reason really to respond back because, that explains why. I think, in talking about that too, it is a day. I always feel like your wedding should be for about everybody else, but it comes down to, you know what I'm saying, because that's why you invited everybody to celebrate a big day in your life. And if you want a sponsor involved in that, just know that sponsor will be associated with your wedding at all times.
What I found interesting about that study is that more men were on board with having it sponsored than the women were, which I thought was interesting. It makes sense to me because if you're spending $35,000 on a wedding, which to me blows my mind, but I say get it sponsored. Don't waste your money.
Well, yeah, and that's a horrible way to start off any kind of journey is in debt. I mean, at $40,000, I would love to have that to go as a down payment on a home.
On a
right?
home, of course, yeah. So I mean, I think there were some good answers there for sure.
Good stuff. Thank you there, James. And of course, we want to make sure that you are involved. That's why you need to make sure that you like, comment, and share our social channels. And your comment could be featured right here on the show. Let's jump into some trending stories.
Okay, this is crazy. A spirited South Carolina couple is pleading with their neighbors to stop calling 911 over their elaborate Halloween decorations. It makes their home look like it's engulfed in flames. I can't believe that they put this up. The couple said that the same night they turned on their eye-catching setup, a local fire department received dozens of calls reporting that their house was on. It looks like it's on fire.
Oh, yeah.
The display features lights that appear as orange glowing flames in every single window of the home. It's accompanied by a thick cloud of smoke billowing out from underneath the porch.
Okay, and I'm all for it. I mean, it looks cool, but you're right. Sometimes if you go too real, I mean, it's going to cause panic, right?
Yes.
But what a great job. Never
I mean,
mind.
it's beautiful, but here's the thing. What happens if their house
a
really
real one.
catches on fire? Or somebody sees a fire, oh, it's just a Halloween display.
And if you call 911, someone has to respond no
Yes.
matter what. So if you say, okay, this looks like a fire, they still have to go out there because of stuff like that. And, why not have a big wolf out there and just that way you can cry wolf and it's really there, right?
I like it.
He's a great actor. He's the mayor of Kingstown. I don't know if you're watching that. Actor Jeremy Renner. He actually gave us an update on his health ahead of his season of Mayors of Kingstown. 3 years, can you believe it's been 3 years after his near-fatal accident? Renner says that he's actually feeling much stronger, clearer, and happier. He admitted during a recent interview with the New York Post that season 3 was kind of tough. It was just 1 year after his accident. He also says that this season, he's actually more awake, more attentive. Renner suffered 30 broken bones, a spinal fracture after an accident involving a snowplow outside of his home in Nevada where he was helping somebody out. They're doing the full court press on Mayors of Kingstown. Edie Falco's also in there as well.
Is she new this season?
They brought her
season
in.
4?
I remember watching the first season. I don't recall her seeing that. Seeing her in. I think they brought her in maybe mid-season last season. I think. I'm not 100% sure.
He even said in this interview too, he's like, I wasn't sure if I could do fiction again because his injuries obviously were so terrible and brought a new sense of reality to him. That living in this fiction film world, knowing what he'd just been through, was kind of a challenge for him.
I love I'm stepping back. I love the fact he was helping somebody.
Yes,
and
I
he
think it was a
life.
relative too. Wasn't it his nephew?
It was something along those lines, right? And then you also say, here's a guy who snowplows. So it kind of tells you a lot about who he is.
Yeah.
I really think that's cool, and I'm so happy to hear that he's actually doing a little bit better here, and will continue to do so. Great actor.
Yeah, to me, he's one of my favorites. And when this accident happened, I think there were moments where they didn't think he was going to make it.
He's extremely lucky.
The injuries were so severe, and the fact that he has what appears to be bounced back so well and recovered so phenomenally from that whole experience, mentally and physically.
It's got to be something that really just shows you it's a different fabric of man that makes it, and doing what he loves, obviously, with acting as well. We have more of today's Trends, Tomorrow's Talk coming your way, and by the way, we're always open on our website.
24/7, dailyflashshow.com. Look for that sound off tab. And also our question of the day, James may include your responses in his Get Social segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Hey, Mitchie.
Hey, Jackson.
Yeah, I want to talk about that big story coming out of Hollywood.
Hold on, wait. I want to get Matt in on this call, all right? Hold on.
Hey, what's up, Mitch and Dias?
Matty!
Mitchie.
Mateus.
Mitch, my man.
So, Matty of Birkenshire.
What's going on?
Hey, AJ wants us to talk about a big story that's happening.
This kid, the Kiki, says hi. He has his own Instagram.
That's great, Matt, but I really want to talk about this big story coming out of Hollywood.
Ooh, dog and cat, it's
Hey, you should check it out. This kid, the Kiki.
I want to know what's going on.
What?
Oh, okay, so real quick. Why does he still have a dial-up modem?
Hey, I gotta get back to wrestling stuff.
It's on the music.
You know what? Maybe we should just try this later.
Okay, all right. Peace and love.
Daily Flash.
Where are you?
It's just better when you're part of the conversation. Join us online.
Hey now, welcome to Preview Review. I am Matt Doolittle, where we bridge pop culture and cinematic storytelling, and today it's a sneak peek with a smart twist. This week, we're diving into one of the most anticipated films in modern horror, and it's Guillermo del Toro's take on the haunting new Frankenstein.
My maker told his tale. And I will tell you mine. I remember pieces. Memories of different men. Victor Frankenstein.
So I got a preview of this movie last week. It's absolutely amazing. Perfect time coming out right around Halloween season. November 7th, it'll be available on Netflix. I mean, Oscar Isaac is amazing. Jacob Elordi as the Frankenstein monster is amazing. Christoph Waltz, you know you're getting a fantastic performance with him. And this time it actually dives into the actual book, taking a lot from the actual Mary Shelley's whole take on this. She wrote this when she was 19 years old, which is insane. And Guillermo del Toro said he was very scared of making this because this was his big inspiration project when he was coming up as a filmmaker. And I got to tell you, visually, acting, everything, this is amazing. And I will be amazed if this is not up for an Oscar, and the entire cast deserves one as well.
Interesting. Let me ask you this there, Maddie, though. How does this kind of like separate itself from the other
other
Frankensteins that are out there?
Frankenstein stories, yeah.
Well, you know, when you got the Three Stooges meets Frankenstein, those types of gimmicks from back in the day with Boris Karloff, with the, and all that, this makes it feel more real in a way. It takes from the actual from the actual book, from the actual stories of it. Guillermo did even more deep diving onto this about how to actually create a creature out of death and everything. So it's not gimmicky at all. It's not like the stuff you'll see at Universal Studios. This one is really, really dark and really just stunning. The whole story actually feels like something from a different era. It's really great.
Kind of reminds me of Nosferatu that came out last year with Willem Dafoe.
If you make
They're getting serious with these horror films.
Yep.
They're getting away from the gimmicky stuff, and this one is definitely very serious, but just absolutely amazing.
Got it, Matt. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, it's one of those where if you can make it feel believable, you're more invested into it.
Yeah, I think so, sure.
All right, let's talk about some trending stories going around.
Actor Charlie Sheen has announced that he is no longer single. Insiders say the 60-year-old actor is involved with a younger man who is not in the entertainment business. Word has it that the romance with the mystery guy started earlier this summer when the two met through mutual friends in Malibu. Those who spend time with him say that what Sheen loves about this new guy is that he's just a regular dude with a normal job. For now, he's keeping the relationship private. They spend time at home cooking and watching old movies.
Good for him. If he found happiness, that's where it's at, then that's where it's at. I think it shocked a lot of people with his documentary when he came and said, I experimented with homosexuality, and it sounds like now he's in a relationship. He could be bi. Either way, it's up to him.
If he's happy, that's great.
We want to see him happy and off drugs, right?
Yes.
I'm all for that. Pop star Taylor Swift says she has no plans to go on tour following the release of her latest album, Life of a Showgirl. Swift was talking to BBC One about life on the road, and she said she's still exhausted from her last tour, as imagined. She was on the road for 21 months during the Eras Tour, performed 149 shows across 5 continents in 21 countries, and made $89 billion. I don't know how much. 36 years old. Pop star confirmed that when she goes back on tour, it's going to require all of her energy. Swift recently announced her engagement, of course, as we know, Travis Kelce, and the two are planning a wedding. Where else do you get married but Rhode Island?
I think she's ready to settle down, maybe start a family. That's a lot of touring.
It really is.
I can't even imagine that schedule.
So you can understand why she has so many specific needs.
Yeah.
If you're going to live like that, why not do it? We got more of today's trends, tomorrow's talk, still to come right here on Daily Flash.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mitch English.
Hi, I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash, today's trends, tomorrow's talk. Let's check in with our stations across the nation. Matt Doolittle, tell us all about it.
Yes, 219 beautiful affiliates across this fantastic nation and all around the world on the Armed Forces Network. You can head to our website, dailyflashshow.com, click where to watch, and you can share that with your friends. Today, we're checking in with our buddies at KYTL in Twin Falls, Idaho.
Hey!
Do you know what it's famous for?
Twin Falls, 2 of them?
Evel Knievel trying to jump over Snake River Canyon. That's what they're infamous for.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a
And
TV
potatoes.
show called Twin Falls?
Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks.
Twin
There could
Peaks.
be Twin Falls.
Which-
I don't know.
It's one of the weird shows. I've tried
is.
to watch it. My wife's
love Twin
addicted
Peaks.
to
I
it.
did too.
It's
The original.
It's special.
Kyle McLaughlin,
the best.
who's great, which, by the way, in our stream for the weekend, he's in my pick for that. Okay, so since we're in the spooky season, and people like to get scared, they did a survey out by Chapman University. It was published, I believe, on a science website, because that's where it should go.
Sure.
I've always felt that way. What Americans fear. Okay, they went out and said, what are you worried about? What are you scared about?
Oh.
And it's more than just, say, spiders, haunted houses.
Snakes.
Here, it's real world stuff. 69% of those surveyed, tell me if you agree with this or not, are afraid of government corruption. They say that is the number one thing. 69% of people say government corruption is what scares them the most. Because you think about that, and you'll see a theme in all of these when I go down the list.
Okay.
The next one, 58.9% feared the illness of a loved one, meaning someone you love gets sick. That makes sense.
That's sure.
But then insurance is involved in that, if you think about it. 58.2% are worried about economical or financial collapse. 55.9% are concerned about cyber terrorism.
Ooh.
And you think with all the AI coming
up.
And then it drops down to environmental fears like water pollution, which is about 55% of the people say that cracked the top 10. So all of those, what do they have in common?
It's nothing you can control.
There you go. My man got it. No, you can't control it, and we are afraid of what we can't control.
Of course
think
we
about
are.
that.
Nixon's going to Nixon.
100%. And so, you think about these things, and if you stay up late, like worried about the government, and realize the only thing that you can really do is just vote.
Yep.
Make sure that you get it, and you can, at least you can say, well, I tried something.
And one of the better solutions is stay off your phone.
Great idea.
I mean, because that only fuels your obsession and your concerns and your fear.
And it knows that.
Yeah.
It knows who you are, and so it's going to feed you that sort of thing. So keep that in mind. So, but I say that's not what we need to be worried about.
Okay.
I'm sure there's other things in the world. My biggest fear is things like, we haven't heard from Kanye West in a long time. He's been very quiet.
Yeah, I think he's in
Right?
court.
Yes, he has been.
And that's what's worrying me.
It's brewing.
What do you think we should really be worried about? Jackson, I'll start with you.
I'm worried about the cybercrime and financial scams, but I'm also afraid of texting the wrong person.
Oh my God.
Hugo, for some reason, there was a period where I thought I was texting my wife, and I would text Hugo, our EP, and he would get these messages like, wow, Mitch really likes me. Maddie, what should everybody be afraid of?
Asteroids.
Asteroids.
Again, it's something I can't control, but we had a documentary called Armageddon where they laid out a plan, and I want to see that plan
and we
happen.
lost Bruce Willis.
Yes.
Yeah, I gotcha.
What about hemorrhoids? You all right with hemorrhoids?
Been there, done it.
All right. Sweet baby James, take it. Tell us, what should we be afraid of? Remember your audience.
Why you say careful? Look, I put some great thought into this, and I can say I'm very scared of her saying "I love you" after the first night. And, that's very terrifying for me. I already got 3, no more. So
that's a valid fear, right?
Well, for
It
him,
is a valid fear.
For him, it's 2
fear.
words. I'm pregnant too. So
I had that where you text the wrong person. Have you ever hung up with somebody like you're talking?
Yes.
You say "I love you."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
or I'll say babe or dear or hun or something, and I'm like, that's the plumber. What am I doing? And
You
it's
get
like,
better service.
Yeah, that is true.
I've seen that movie.
We want to know what we should really be afraid of. James will take your social media comments, and of course you can go to FlashTheDailyFlashShow.com. Speaking of talking to the plumber, we got some help in our home.
Helping
ideas.
our home. We're going to show you how to buy something really cool at a thrift store and redo it yourself for pennies on the dollar.
Love it.
We're back right after this. Let's help your home with a little DIY advice from some of our favorite experts. Ever found a great piece of secondhand furniture in need of some TLC? Well, here's what to do.
You see these cabinets right here? Well, guess what, you guys? I got them for $15 flippin' dollars. 15 for both, and I think that was a steal right at the thrift store. These puppies were in pretty bad shape, I'm not gonna lie, and somebody already painted them, but I don't really know what they did to them. They are all chipped and nicked, and yeah, they needed some TL flippin' C. So first things first, we clean our pieces of furniture. Y'all never, ever skip this step. I'm not kidding. It might look clean, but I promise you it is not. I mixed up some white light whitening. It's just a TSP cleaner, which really helps get rid of like grease, grime, all that yucky stuff, because trust me, all the work that you do later on, if you don't clean it right, it will just chip off later in the end. So cleaning is key. Then I got a pin nailer and I nailed in that little crack on the side. And my favorite part is this. Okay, this is epoxy putty. It's basically adult Play-Doh that you use to fix any kind of dents or scratches. You mix up a little bit of hardener in the putty itself and it dries super rock hard like Bondo. You sand it down and voila, that is it. It's so simple to use. That's like my favorite little flip product. All right, next we're giving this a quick little scuff sand because I'm not going to strip this whole thing. I'm just going to paint on top of this because I'm prepping it right and it's like, you know, I can just do that. Okay, but first of all, I flipped it upside down and I did realize that the bottom part of this was solid wood. And then I realized that somebody like painted this 6 different colors. So I was like, wait, if I can sand this down and get these wooden legs back to that solid wood, I will be one happy camper. And let me tell you, I did my absolute best before I ran out of sandpaper, but I thought this would be okay. And I restained it with some Dixie Belle gel stain and it did the flipping trick. And I want this to be an easy flip. So I'm using some silk paint because it is an all-in-one paint, which means it has a built-in primer and a built-in top coat. So really you just need to do 1 or 2 coats given on like the depth and the color that you're trying to achieve. And I just needed 2 coats on this piece over that dark blue and it turned out so good. The color's truffle and it took it from this to these. And I swear they look so much better, so mid-century, so chic. What do y'all think?
Easy fix, $15 at the thrift store. Well, here are 5 easy ways to transform your home without losing your mind or draining your bank account.
Here are 5 ways you can totally transform the look of your home on a small budget, and I'll share the estimated cost for each. First, adding wallpaper to your bathroom, laundry room, or bedroom. Just do 1 accent wall to save money and use peel and stick for easy application and removal. Second, simply painting a wall or room. This is such an underrated, easy DIY project that can totally transform the look and feel of a space. Next, staining a wood porch or deck. This 1 container only cost me $30 and I only used half to make the wood on my back porch come to life again. Painting existing cabinets. This will take some sweat equity, but for the cost of 1 can of primer and 1 can of paint and a few supplies, you can totally transform your kitchen or bathroom for under $250. And last, switching out faucets and hardware. There are great beginner YouTube videos for replacing faucets, so don't be intimidated by this, and a new faucet just like this one only costs $50. These are just a few ways you can elevate the look of your home without breaking the bank.
And if you're looking to spruce up your space for fall or maybe add some festive vibes, here's what to do.
My husband made me this box that holds exactly 3 floral foam bricks from the dollar store, but if you can't make a box, don't despair. You can easily use tissue boxes or Kleenex boxes, stack 3 of them together, and inside you want to put your floral foam just like this from the dollar store. Now to hold those 3 boxes together, simply wrap it in some duct tape. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the flowers. I also got 3 dollar store candles. They're vanilla scented. Those are hard to find, so I was excited to find those at the Dollar Tree. So I went ahead and clipped it all off so I have, you know, all the flowers individual. So here's how I made it look really even. I put 1 flower on one side, on the opposite side I put an even one so that the box looks really even. You can't go wrong when you do it this way. So this is what it looks like. Dollar store pine cones were added in there just to fill it up a little bit. All in all, I spent under $20.
Well, we are quickly approaching the end of the year, and now is the ideal time for simple preventative healthcare steps that will help you stay healthy throughout the colder months, holiday season, and beyond. Dr. Heidi Schwartzwald, Chief Medical Officer at Signify Health. She joins us now to tell us what we can do. Doc, why is prioritizing preventative health, especially for older adults, so important this time of year?
It becomes really important this time of year because we might be traveling or family coming to visit you. That means you're going to be exposed to more colds, more flus, and you're going to be out of your regular routine, making it hard to keep up with your usual healthy habits.
And are there some simple tips that we can do to help prevent maybe seasonal illnesses?
Yeah, the best one, of course, is getting your flu shot. And if you're eligible, getting your pneumococcal vaccine as well. These can keep you from those complications of colds and flus like hospitalizations or pneumonias. Also, make sure you're washing your hands.
Okay. Very, very important, as much as you can, anytime opportunity, I'm sure. How should we view preventative health? Maybe any person of any age.
Preventive health is really what we do to keep us from getting sick from maybe chronic illnesses. If you have diabetes or high blood pressure, the things you do every day, like the choices you make when you eat, taking your preventative medications, getting some exercise, these are things that are really going to keep you healthy.
All right. Yeah. Now, folks might want to get some kind of like an in-health or in-home rather health evaluation, especially for the older generation. Where can they do that to schedule one and maybe possibly even get more information?
You can get more information from hellosignify.com. We can send a clinician to your home who will review all these steps, help you make that personal health plan, and get you ready for the holidays.
Very good. Wash the hands is what I got from this, but make that appointment as well, because we got to take care of all of us. One person gets sick, everybody else could. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to put this interview as well as links on our website at dailyflashshow.com/FMI.
Thank you.
Global Travel Authority Lonely Planet has officially unveiled its top destinations for next year. Nydia Chambers joins us with the Best in Travel 2026 destinations. Nydia, what makes a destination worthy for Lonely Planet's Best in Travel list?
Well, we picked 25 destinations and 25 experiences around the world, 50 altogether, that really captured our imagination this year. We wanted places that we could not wait to recommend to travelers. And we wanted people to dream, and then we wanted them to go and do, and a real mix of, you know, maybe next year or maybe next weekend. So I think we tried to fit something in for every type of traveler that wants to experience adventure and be out in the world.
So this is Lonely Planet's 16th year releasing their official list. How does Lonely Planet come up with a list like this, and how does it reflect broader travel trends?
Well, this year we added, we went just beyond just destinations to include experiences, because we think that's how people are traveling. You want to go somewhere, but there are specific things you want to eat when you get there. You plan trips around a hike you want to do, or a night sky experience, or a specific hotel. And so we really wanted to reflect those experiences that make a place as part of this list, and feature them alongside the destinations in the Best in Travel list.
Okay, so this year there was a shift to include special experiences that people can have around the globe, like a Premier League game in England, maybe the Creole trail rides in Louisiana. Why was that so important to include?
Well, I just think going somewhere and experiencing part of the local culture is such a way to get to the heart of a place. And the Premier League game is such a great example of that. There's nothing like sports that brings people together. And to experience that in another country is really a unique experience to have.
Does Lonely Planet actually visit all these locations?
We do. Our team travels everywhere, and we select things for this list that we could not stop talking about. So making sure that people went there, had an experience, and came back to tell us about it is critical to inclusion in the list.
And where can viewers go to check out the rest of the list?
lonelyplanet.com or wherever bookstores are sold. Our annual Best in Travel list is also a book.
Thanks again for joining us. We'll be sure to post this on our website at dailyflashshow.com/FMI.
All right, thank you there, Jackson. Yeah, as well. An unhinged female jogger has left a California family feeling a little uneasy after she kept punching the Halloween decorations. Two different attacks. We got it on video, too. Everybody has camera video. The runner first hit the family's home. Watch this. On an evening run through the neighborhood. So there she goes. Watch this. She just doesn't like it. The runner returned a little bit later than a minute and punched the witch statues until she knocked them all to the ground.
Stop it!
And then 10 days later, the vandal struck again, this time attacking the residents during a morning jog. Homeowner found it kind of strange that the woman has only vandalized her displays, no one else's as well.
Oh my God.
Doesn't like the witches, I guess, but man, why you gotta do that, man?
That is not cool to ruin somebody else's Halloween display.
Let them have that.
Yeah.
It's that one time of year.
That's so rude.
and I'm so glad that she got caught on camera, because this says everything about that one person in the neighborhood that does this. That just you have to wonder what the motivation is. That's what's kind of scary. Let's watch her knock it down again.
Bang! Wow. Clearly, the exercise is not working off the anger.
No. Get it all out, for sure.
What is wrong with people? The good thing about having this home security video is usually neighborhoods like this have a pretty solid Facebook page, and she's being shamed at the moment.
Next door.
Yeah, next door.
That thing next door is another thing. So she's shamed.
For sure.
Don't do that, y'all.
Don't. Minnesota Museum opened an exhibit dedicated to the stuff of Halloween nightmares. Oh, creepy dolls. Say it isn't so. The new exhibit, Creepy Dolls, Loose in the Vaults, features dolls paired with various objects from the museum's archives. The dolls were donated by members of the community who were also asked to include information about the history of each toy. Visitors are being asked to vote for their favorite creepy doll, and the winner will be announced when the exhibit wraps up.
Why is it the dolls are, I think it's the eyes on those things. And then when they get really old and like the ones from a long time ago look creepier than the ones that look more realistic now for some reason. And then when you put them all together, they become that much more creepier. I don't know what it is when you have a collection of them.
It reminds me of, I think it's a Geico commercial where they go somewhere and they end up in an Airbnb and it's filled with dolls.
Yes, yeah.
And it's like, that is truly things that nightmares are made of.
How do you sleep?
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right, superstition may be irrational, but in New York City, it's a bit of a tradition. Have you ever ridden in an elevator? Notice that sometimes there are buttons for the 12th and 14th floors, but not for the 13th. A survey of 629 residential buildings in New York City found that only 9% have a 13th floor. More than 90% of them go from 12 to 14, but their 13th floor still physically exists. Despite growing cultural cynicism, triskaidekaphobia, the fear of the number 13, still exerts real power. In New York City, among everyday residential buildings, skipping the 13th is standard operating procedure.
It is weird. I did notice that in when you're only in New York, it seems like, and everywhere I go, if it's taller than 13, I always see if there's 13th floor. I don't know why it is, because 12th or the 14th floor would actually be the 13th.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're out of there. Hey, we're not done yet. More of today's trends, tomorrow's talk. All right, let's find out what we need to binge this weekend. It's streaming for the weekend. Jackson, what do you got?
Oh my gosh, it's a new documentary on Netflix. My pick for the weekend is The Perfect Neighbor.
911 said just for the emergency. Are you having problems with the neighbor's children?
Hello, Sheriff's Office. Were any of you guys ever here messing with this lady?
No. We were playing football.
Sheriff's Office.
I called because the kids from across the street, they shouldn't be screaming and running around.
This documentary is amazing. It's all done with body camera footage, and it is so compelling.
Which is good because you're not swaying one way or another. You're seeing what happened when it happened as well. This happened in Florida. Maybe quick, what happened?
A woman and a neighbor were fighting, and this neighborhood fought with this woman quite often.
Karen.
And Karen, they called her, and she shot through the door of her home and killed a neighbor who was coming over to get her son's iPad. Gets a little political toward the end, and it wasn't necessary because the documentary speaks for itself.
100%.
But it's great,
All right, well, my pick for this weekend is a Halloween treat, and my favorite ride that I've done at 3 parks, just picking that up right there. It's called, on YouTube, we call it Imagineering the Haunted Mansion.
So for the band that you see in the graveyard, he actually wrote the music backwards. They played the notes backwards, and then they reversed it so that it would sound the melody, but that's what gives it this very strange sound. And then, of course, X-Rose, very fun. Grim Grinning Ghosts, talking about the fact that they're coming out to socialize, and it's the ride on this big happy party note and fun with humor again, as the ghost will follow you home.
When the crypt doors creak and the tombstones quake, spooks come out for a swing and wake. Happy haunts materialize and begin to vocalize. Grim grinning ghosts come out to socialize.
Looks like fun. All right,
awesome.
my pick for the weekend. Well, let me just give you the lowdown now on FX.
This is Lee Raybon.
Lee Raybon.
He'll write for any publications that'll humor his conspiracies.
You read my paper? It's Booty and Bad Guys.
He's rough around the edges.
Dad, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. You want to drive?
Bookstore owner by day, a truth historian by night. He thought he had seen it all. He was wrong. Ethan Hawke, Kyle MacLachlan, Keith David, Peter Dinklage, all-star in The Lowdown. It's on FX. I think 6 episodes in so far. You can binge it.
Ooh.
He's having a career renaissance.
I like
Yeah,
it.
I
It's
do
really,
too.
really good. They shot it all in Tulsa, too. It's really cool. Y'all have a fantastic weekend. Bye-bye.
Reality Bites. I love it.
Yeah. That is a really good one.